this opportunity.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that you get a taste of something else, because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada.
All right, before we let that play, Judge, I want you to do your best to walk us through what happens next from your memory.
I remember him coming at me, and really didn't think that he would ever make contact. And then I just remember it was like a crash sound. I just remember smashing into the wall. I went down, my glasses went up. I smashed into the wall. He was on me, and then I was being pulled down. I was being hit, and I don't know where and by what. I had closed my eyes. I was trying to protect my face and my head. He had me by the hair, and I was still getting hit in the head. In the meantime, I saw my law clerk, who was sitting next to me, who had dove almost in front of me as Mr. Redden came at me. And he was on top trying to pry the defendant off me. By this point, I had pulled down. I was kind of laying down like in the back of the bench. I had gone my head from this side to this side. And I just remember saying, "Help, help, somebody get him off." I mean, in my head, I was completely defenseless. He was so determined and so violent and so... It was scary. I didn't think I was going to get out of there.
I'll give you a moment, and I want to play a little more video and back up a little bit.
Don't do this. Please, please. Wow. Hey, where's Mary Kay? Is she okay? Why are you doing that? Wow. Hey. Wow. Hey, can you fucking radio somebody? Yeah.
Can you do your best to describe the level of force he used when you were under the bench and we can't see in the video?
The level of force he used the entire time was superhuman. I don't know. From the time he came through the air and smashed into me, he knocked me literally almost through the wall, out of my chair. He knocked me so hard, he knocked me out of my shoes. You know, when you see a car accident and people get hit so hard by a car, their shoes come off. I mean, that's how hard he hit me. And when I was down there, it didn't get less.
We saw there a couple of individuals jump in, one of them being your law clerk.
Yes.
While, if you remember, if you know, while your law clerk was trying to save you, was Mr. Redden stopped?
He was not.
Can you describe that, what was going on physically and how?
Only by feel. Because
do your best.
I was down in the ground, and I could just feel someone going at me who was Mr. Redden, because that's where he was, and I could feel someone trying to pull him off and leave her alone, and you know, this like they're fighting over me. I mean, Michael's trying to pull him off, and he's not letting go.
Do you know, based on memory, where his hands were?
I do not.
Do you remember being struck or hitting your head while you were down behind the bench there.
Yes,
Do you remember what struck you?
I do not.
Do you remember what side of your head it was?
Left at that point.
Did Mr. Redden continue to attack you while Mr. Lasso was pulling you?
He did.
At some point, Mr. Lasso and the others are successful in getting him physically off you. Is that right?
3 of them. 3 or 4 of them it took to get him off me.
Where did you go, or what did you do once they were able to?
As soon as I was clear enough, I literally rolled onto my bench in fetal position.
I would presume that this was extremely traumatic for you, but I have to ask, do you know if you went unconscious during the attack?
I don't know.
What is the next thing you remember after rolling into the fetal position under the bench?
I remember thinking, why is it taking so long? I mean, there was chaos in the courtroom. There was screaming. The alarms were going off, and there was still a struggle. Again, I couldn't see it. Partly my eyes were closed, and partly it was out of my sight. And so I was just laying there and waiting. And then the next thing I remember is Jory coming up. Is she okay? And Michael came up earlier. Michael Lasso, my law clerk, and kind of stood by me, kind of, are you okay? And also, at least the feeling I got was that he was the buffer in case they lost control of the defendant again, because he was still very close.
While the attack was actually going on, what was going through your head?
I'm not going to get out of here. And it's a weird thing, because I know that there's video, and there's a part of me going, I'll be dead. But I have 3 kids. They're going to watch. And that's what they're going to see. That's what was making me so mad. Not what he was doing to me, but what he would do to my family. Okay.
Take your time. So, alarms are going off, lots of physical chaos going on. Did you look around, or eventually were you able to get up and look around the courtroom?
Yeah.
What do you recall seeing then?
Well, behind the bench, there was blood everywhere.
Where did that come from, if you know?
Shane, my marshal.
Did you look at Shane?
I did.
What did you see?
His forehead was literally sliced open, and the skin had been just flapping as he was trying to protect me, even though he was hurt, but he was getting blood all over the bench. There was clumps of my hair on the floor. The calendar papers were all covered in blood.
Eventually, is what I'll call the scene, is it all secured and Mr. Redden taken away?
Yes.
I'm going to resume the video here for a moment. Can we turn that down just a little bit?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Shame. Oh my God! You okay? Oh my gosh, dude! This fucking shit's hitting. No, come on, buddy. Call 911. Hey, where's Mary Kane? She's right here. She's right here. Stay down. Get on the ground.
Please, God. Please, God. Please, God. Please. May I ask you to
Oh shit! Damn! He's a dog. Damn! Fucking ass dude. Next. Give me the ring. Where it should go. Yeah, go ahead. Hey! Hey! Stop! 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 Super! fucking ass out of here.